order to have a decent understanding of the Armanin runes, we first have to re-examine the Kabbalah and how that translates to the physical body. And we're going to examine real quickly the 6 points of the human body that correlate to the tree of life. Crown chakra, right at the top of the head. Both shoulders, the right shoulder representing severity, the left shoulder representing mercy. The hips, the right hip representing splendor, the left hip representing victory, and the root, the foundation. Now, when we trace the outer perimeter of these 6 points, we can readily see the hexagon. Now, the stellation process, what I call the stellation process, which is connecting the points inside from crown to root, left shoulder to right hip, right shoulder to left hip, we have essentially the rune Hagal. Now, Hagal is sometimes referred to as the rune crystal. Excuse me. And it's the heart of the Armanin system. Now, there's another point that takes place when we do this stellation process, and that additional point is the intersection. Now, an intersection is the culmination of 2 or more intersecting lines. So all the lines that we're drawing inside the hexagon meet up here at the solar plexus. So the hexagon, from this perspective, as it pertains to the Armanin system, actually has that additional 7th point because of the intersection. Now we're going to examine the 7 runes that I use for healing, and these are the 7 runes that I correlate with these specific chakras. And all of these runes are found within the hexagon. Now we're going to examine the first rune that I correlate with the root chakra, and that is Is. Is simply a straight line from crown to root. That's how we form that. And that can be used with the edge of your hand at the foundation, like this, with either hand, left or right hand, or simply flat, like this. The next rune that correlates with the pelvis would be Fa. The Fa rune is found within the hexagon like this, straight line down, crown to root, and then root to hip, intersection with left shoulder, Fa. And we form Fa like this. Separate your fingers, move them at an angle like this, forming Fa, and placing it right on the pelvis. Forming the runes with your hands is very powerful. Sometimes referred to as an aspect of runic yoga. And when I'm putting my hands, forming the runes with my hands and placing them on the chakras, I am inhaling through my third eye and exhaling through my hands. Now I'm breathing exclusively through my nose, but I'm feeling as though I'm inhaling through my third eye and exhaling through my hand. Now, the next rune associated with the solar plexus is Ur, or my incorrect American Er. So is found like this. Straight line from crown to root, crown to left shoulder to left hip. Ur. Forming Ur is very simple. This right here. It's very easy. It's a very natural, comfortable runic hand position. And I would place this right at the solar plexus to direct energy into that chakra. And sometimes when I'm working on my assistant's solar plexus chakra, her tummy starts to talk to me. And that happens a lot when I'm doing energy work with people, especially people that do energy work on me as well, as she does. Our tummies will talk to each other. They'll start grumbling and rumbling. That's natural. The next rune that I use in correspondence with the chakras is Sig. Sig at the heart chakra, the center of the chest. Now Sig is formed like this. Crown to intersection, intersection to left shoulder to left hip. So we find Sig like this. And we form Sig like this. It's easily detectable. We place it directly in the center of the chest. Now this is a kind of a big hand position here, and we cover a lot of territory, so make adjustments where you need to. Forming the runes with your hands, forming any symbol with your hands, is a great way to communicate with your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has a very powerful reaction to symbols. To the subconscious mind, the symbol is the thing that you are trying to create. And symbols, especially runes, have their own unique vibration. Now each rune represents a force within nature, which can also be found within you. Since you are a force of nature, the runes can be found within you. That's why I like to correlate the hexagon with the physical body. The next chakra would be the throat chakra, and the rune that I've ascribed to that is Rit. Rit can be found on the body like this. Crown to root, then crown to left shoulder to intersection to left hip. So we find it like this. Rit. I form Rit with my left hand, index finger and thumb together, and the remaining fingers straight out. So I'm trying to form Rit. Now, obviously, it's very difficult to get the symbols exact with your hand, but it's recognizable to my mind, excuse me, to my conscious mind and my subconscious mind, and it still works rather well. And I would place the tips of my extended fingers on the base of the throat. Moving up to the brow chakra, the third eye chakra, the rune that I've ascribed to that chakra is Thorn, referred to in other systems as Thurzaz. Now, Thorn is essentially a triangle, in that the right side represents the masculine electric forces, the left side of the triangle represents the female magnetic forces, and the singular point facing you would be the culmination of the magnetic and the electric together, which is the point of manifestation. So whenever you're dealing with triangles, the singular point is always facing you. So the singular point facing down or facing toward you. So thorn has the same geometrical consistency as a triangle. And there are many triangles within the body, especially when we look at the stellation process. We have both hips to foundation. That's a triangle. We can find thorn right here. We can also find thorn from right hip, right shoulder, moving into the intersection. We find thorn there. Left hip, left shoulder, moving into the intersection. We find thorn there. So basically, any triangle that we find within the rune crystal is an aspect of thorn. So there's 6 different triangles within this modality right here. Now, the very last chakra that I use in correlation to the chakras is the rune Hagal itself, which is the rune crystal. Now, how I form Hagal would be different than what you see here. Basically, Hagal looks like an X with a line through the center. And I form it with both hands, like this, my thumbs together. So basically I'm forming kind of a football goal with my hands. And though it looks very different from the rune itself, everything is present. We have the unification of left and right, male and female, and basically the Armanin rune, Hagal, from the Armanin perspective, is actually a very peaceful and positive rune. Very powerful, but also very positive. And I would place it at the crown chakra like this, so you can see. So this is the primary foundation to the Armanin rune healing system, and this is how we derive the runes and how we see the runes. And we'll continue with this in another video, how we can use one rune for all chakras.